Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Bad Batch. So in this episode there were two storylines going in at the same time, one with Omega and the Empire, and the other one being with the Bad Batch. So we're first going to discuss what was going on with the Bad Batch, and then move on to what was going on with Omega and the Empire. So, luckily for them, um, they were on, the Bad Batch were on planet and they were trying to figure out what they're going to do next. The entire planet is basically being covered by the Empire. Even though they're leaving, they don't think there's any way they can get a ship and get out of there. So they're basically trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to figure out how to get to Tarnus. That's when Crosshairs explains that he might have a way. And now Hunter is ticked off at this because he thinks that, Crosshairs is hiding stuff from him, and in a way he kind of is. But he explains that there's a guy, an Imperial officer who is now imprisoned, who potentially would know where Tarnus is. Mostly due to the fact that he was the one that actually sent Nalasai, sorry, over to that location. So because of that, he thinks he would obviously know where that is. And last he had known was he was on an imperial slave camp, I believe is what it's called, or prison camp, I should say. And so they were going to figure out how to get there. Well, they still trying to figure out how to get off planet. That's when V comes in and explains that she's there. Realizing what's been going on and understanding kind of what the deal has been. She basically explains that she'll help them out, but she's coming with. And she wanted to know what the plan was, and they explained that where they were going was an imperial um, prison imperial prison ground, I guess you'd best say, work ground, whatever you want to call it. So she agrees. So they all take off and head to the planet. They get there. They are able to get a schematic thanks to these connections on the location and what they need to do. And they figured the plan was going to be that they were going to ambush them when bringing the workers back to their cells. Figured that would be the best route to get him. I believe his name is Harthorn. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Anyway, not the point. So they all head out. So well, when they get to planet, I should say, V gives them the stealth landing, which is basically shut off the entire power of the ship and have it gradually go down with the power of gravity. Nobody liked that except for V. She then shoots them back up, gets them level with the ground, and lets them off. And she explains that they are to let her know when they're ready to go. So she heads off. They take some time. They finally figure out what's going on, and they are trying to figure out how they're going to get into the cargo ship at all. And then they realize that the only way was not above, but below. So they shoot on to the RV, get on it, get in it, take over our friend, release all the other prisoners, and they begin to take off. Well, our friend is trying to think that he is in charge, aka Hawthorne, and Crosshairs wants nothing to do with it. There's a little bit of back and forth as they're being pursued and everything else, and finally Crosshairs just stuns him because he's sick and tired of listening to him talk. So he brings him up to the front, and now they're being ambushed on a bridge. Wrecker and Hunter figure out how to destroy it and be able to get back up and around, and now they're on this little like dirt mountain part, trying to avoid the Empire and basically trying to get a hold of V. Unfortunately, the communications are down, most likely due to the fact that the Imperial unit, aka the Empire, has turned off all comms. So the group is trying to shoot down all of the attacks on them. They were able to take out one of the cargo ships, but the other one landed on top and was trying to break in. They destroyed both the gunner and the bomber on the actual ship that they had, or transport is the best way to put it. Transport vehicle. Ship makes it seems like it flies, and this one does not. So that being said, they continue on. They knock off all the ones over there, and the last cargo ship is opening fire on them. And that's when V comes in, blows it up, and they begin to try to get off of their little cargo vehicle, get on top, run across, and land into her ship, and they take off. So during this, they then to interrogate him, and he basically explains he doesn't actually have the location. He it was designed purposely to make sure that nobody was able to have the full coordinates of the said location, and that is basically now Crosshairs and Hunter are ticked off about it, but he thinks he's figured out a way to get around that, but doesn't tell the Bad Batch at this point in time, and that's how that part of the episode ends. So let's get us over to Omega. So Omega gets landed into the base, goes right to Emery, and they begin to draw her blood. And it seems that her blood is as special as they originally had thought, and the M counts were staying stable in the new batch. So the lead doctor was basically stating that Landstrom. No, that's the other show. I apologize. the lead scientist in this one, he basically explains to Omega that they've been trying for a long time and only her DNA has been able to do so. And she wants to know what M counts are. And he's like, "Oh, follow me, child. I'll gladly show you." He brings her into the vault where all the younglings are, and she's like, "Well, what's this?" He goes, "The other pieces to the puzzle." And she goes, "Well, where are we?" He goes, "This is the vault in your new home." And it locks up behind her. So now Omega's in the hardest prison of them all in ever created by the Empire, to our knowledge. So this will not be easy for her to get out, nor will it be easy for the Bad Batch to get in. So we only have 3 episodes left of this season, and I'm very curious at what's going to be happening next. We'll have to wait until next week to know for sure. But overall, I think we're going to have another side mission where our friends work with Hawthorne to get the location of Taurus. So for now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.